Hello, my little hackmons. Today I will be sharing my thoughts on and initial reactions to upcoming horror movie trailers. Let's jump right in. So, first one's probably the most widely known or most heavily advertised is Imaginary. This is the Blumhouse movie about the creepy teddy bear and a girl with imaginary friends. A lot of people are saying that it looks like it's going to be a cliche storm, and yeah, I can understand that, but for some reason, I am really interested in this one. I don't know what it is about it. I think I just love the concept of, did you imagine this thing or is it real? And if you spend any time on my page on Archive of Our Own, you'll know I'm a huge fan of that. The poster, too, immediately grabbed my eyes because it has the teddy bear sitting in what looks like an infinite chessboard. Valley of the Centuries jokes aside, it kind of made me pay attention to the trailers and be like, oh, this sounds like it could be really interesting. And a little side note about this one, I'm really interested in like box office and movie marketing. I know it's lame. And one thing that I wanted to bring up is that it really looks like Imaginary is leaning on the success of Five Nights at Freddy's. The first time I saw the trailer was before that movie, and it did say from the producers of Five Nights at Freddy's. I think what they're doing is really smart. It's like, okay, we had this wildly successful movie. We have another movie coming up that's about a killer bear. So what if we try and link the two? And obviously, Five Nights at Freddy's is very popular with kids, and it's considered a gateway horror. So I wonder if Imaginary is sort of like the next step up, and it's trying to get, like, the FNAF kids into it. And then if they like that, chances are that they'll want to see more Blumhouse movies. I don't know, it's just an interesting thought. Not a scary one, but Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is also coming out in March, and I am so hyped for this. The franchise is taking a lot of cool twists and turns, and I, for one, am happy to go along for the ride. It looks like they've got just enough of nostalgia and the characters from the original, but at the same time, just enough of new original content. Next one is Abigail. This is a movie about a little girl that's a vampire, but she's got this sort of ballerina theme to it. I am always here for vampires that are not romanticized. Give me scary vampires, give me ugly vampires. I love it, and the makeup or special effects that they've done on the little girl from the trailer is really cool. And I really wanted to like this trailer, but the dialogue was so bad that it felt like satire. Like it felt like The Onion produced a horror movie script. No offense to The Onion, by the way. They are very funny and way funnier than whatever they're trying to do here. I lost all hope for this movie when one of the victims starts going off about Twilight, Anne Rice, True Blood, and all this romanticized vampire stuff. Like, has modern vampire media, like, rotted their brains to a point where, like, they think they would be totally fine in a situation with a real evil vampire? Then immediately after, they have a dude drop, like, 5 F-bombs in one sentence just to show how cool and edgy and adult this movie is gonna be. You sound like a 9-year-old on Xbox Live. And the worst part is, Poe's Law. I can't tell if they're actually trying to make a horror comedy or not. It's like listening to an unfunny stand-up comedian. This is gonna be a train wreck, you guys. Next up is Immaculate, which is a religious horror movie about nuns. Now, from the trailer, it's very vague as to what the threat is, but it's almost giving some hints that whatever the scary thing is in this movie comes from within the church, and please, dear God, let that be the case, because that's what I wish religious horror was all about. Like, I wish it was about criticizing the horrible things that people do in the name of religion. Like, that is so much. You can explore so much of that in a horror movie, yet most people just opt out and just go, it's a demon. And so it could be a demon in this one, or, whatever thing they're trying to do, but I really, really hope that they choose the high ground. They go where other religious horror movies aren't gonna go. Then there's Tarot, which is the one I'm probably the most excited for besides Ghostbusters. It's exactly what it says in the tin. Teens play with tarot cards, they die in horrible ways related to the cards. Something about this, it just hits every single right note with me. Supernatural and the occult, games, old things, the epic jump scares. This is gonna be fun. Stop motion is about these little grotesque clay figures that come to life. I've always loved stop motion animation movies. For some reason, I don't know why, but they have such a correlation with the horror genre. Even if it's gateway or horror comedy or horror adjacent, the movies most people think of when you say stop motion animation are things like The Nightmare Before Christmas or Coraline, things that have horror elements to them. And then this one's let's make one, but that's actually a legit horror movie that's actually scary. Looks super, super cool. Late Night with the Devil looks amazing. It's an analog horror that has something to do with a local TV Halloween special, and the trailers didn't really give that much away, which I love in a trailer. What I really like about this is it's clearly analog horror, right? There's no doubt about it, but it's a very, very different vibe from what you think of when I say analog horror. All the YouTube content creators, this feels very different, very fresh and new compared to that. And then last we have Mickey's Mousetrap. As you guys all know, Steamboat Willie went public domain this year, so anyone can use that version of Mickey Mouse in their creative projects. So of course the first thing someone did was make a horror movie just like that Winnie the Pooh one from a couple years ago. Hear me out, guys. I think a scary Mickey Mouse movie can be done. You can take the old mascot suits, especially of the Steamboat Willie version of him, and make them super messed up and creepy, and really lean into that 1920s black and white cartoon aesthetic that's trending again these days. And with that, you can have something that has the appeal of Five Nights at Freddy's and Bendy and the Ink Machine, while also actually being creepy. This is not the way to do it. It's about some people locked inside an arcade while a normally dressed killer wearing a Mickey Mouse mask stabs them. Really? Is that the best you can do? It very much feels like as soon as they heard about the public domain thing, they raced to get it out there because they're a horror movie starring Mickey Mouse, this is gonna be shocking, this is gonna drum up a lot of attention for us, but it looks terrible in my opinion. And because of public domain, no one's saying that someone else can't make a Mickey Mouse movie. In the hands of the right director, that concept could be a hit. It could be really good, really fun. So those were my thoughts on trailers for upcoming horror movies. As we progress more throughout the year, I'll definitely keep you posted on what's coming next. Bye bye, my little hackmons.